Uh, Good morning to everyone. We will have the second. We will have the second revision now today, right? And I think the last time we have discussed up to the 2020 paper. We have discussed up to the which question? Is it? පුතා මේ මේකේ මොකක්ද දුන්නා බලන්න.
මල්ලි ඔය මොකද්ද වෙලා බලන්නලු.
memory na
මට අයියනේ වැඩක් කරන්නේ ඔක්ක බරක්
ඒක මේ පේපර් එකත් පොඩ්ඩක් we have discussed this paper the last time, right? We have discussed up to the, we discussed the production, right? Did we discuss the question, did we discuss about the break-even analysis and the degree of operating leverage? No. Did we discuss the third question, this one? Those who participated the last one, did we discuss this question?
Yes, sir.
We discussed this? Should the time encompassing the long run production of two different industries, for example, did we discuss that? Hello? Did we discuss that?
අපි ධර්ම දේශනාව සඳහා tempත් වෙමු tempත් වෙලා
The students, can you answer me?
නමෝ තස්ස
Did we discuss the question number 3, this one?
සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස
Yes, sir.
නමෝ
Sir, we
තස්ස
only did question 1 and 2 from this paper.
Not the third one, right?
No, sir.
නමෝ
This
තස්ස
one I repeated, yeah, somebody said yes. I remember that I did not
සම්මා
discuss this one, right?
සම්බුද්දස්ස
Now, should the
යෝචේ
time
අවිද්වා
encompassing
උපදීන්
the
කරෙය්‍ය
long run
පුනක්
production
පුනං
of two different
දුක්ඛ
industries, for
මුප්පේති මන්දෝ
example, garment and oil be the same?
තස්මාහි
Explain. What is your answer?
ජානං කෛරා
What is your answer?
දුක්ඛස්ස ජාතස්ස භවානෝ සයාති තී අවසරයි
What is your answer?
ගෞරවනීය ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ මෑණිවරුනි ශ්‍රද්ධා බුද්ධ සම්පන්න පින්වත්නි අපි ඊයේත් මේ මෙත්තගු සූත්‍රයේ මේ ගාතාවම ඉදිරියෙන් තියාගත්තා. අපි යනවා
Can one of you answer that?
ගත්ත මාතෘකාව ගත්ත ගාතාව තවදුරටත් ඉස්සරහට පොඩ්ඩක් අරගෙන ගියා.
Can one of you
ඉතින්
tell
මේකේ
me how you
සඳහන් කරනවා
identify the time
යෝචේ අවිද්‍යාව
demarcation
උපදින්
in
කරේ.
relation to short
කවුරුහරි
and the
මේ
long run?
අවිද්‍යාව නිසා උපති
How
කරනවා
do you sort
නැත්නම්
of draw a line
ප්‍රාර්ථනා
in
කරනවා නම්
between the short
භව
and the long run? Huh? Can one of you tell me how do you draw the line between, now this is of course you learned in the level 3 under production as well. Huh? How do you draw the line? Huh?
මොකද නමුත් ගන්න තියෙන්නේ එපා එපා
The long run refers to the time period in which all factors become variable.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of sounds at the background, and I want you to only when you talk you open the mic, and otherwise you make it mute, right? Lot of disturbances at the back. And yes, the long run means, if you look at this paper, right? Long run means the time that now short run production function, right? At least one factor is fixed. For example, capital E is fixed, right? There are sounds at the back. Right? Other students hear these noises as well. Other students hear these noises as well. Do the other students hear these noises as well?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can't now when I mute for me. Right. Now, in the short run, at least one factor is fixed, right? Capital E is fixed, and the labor is considered as variable. Now, long run means the time that you need to convert these fixed factors into the variable. So in the long run, all the factors become variable, right? Then now here the two industries given are garment and oil. Now garment and oil, we will have to consider the time that is necessary to convert fixed to the variable. How long would it take for the garment industry to convert fixed to the variable? How long would it take for the oil industry to convert fixed to the variable? Now here, for example, the garment factory, the size of the factory floor, number of plants and machineries available, right? These are the fixed factors. To convert them, it might need about 8 months to 12, 8 months to 1 year, right? To have an extension to the factory building, install more plants and machineries might take about maximum 8 months to 12, right? So for the garment industry, it is the 8 months to 12 that is necessary to convert fixed to the variable. But if you take the oil industry, you need to have refineries. If it is offshore, you must have rigs. So that will take about maybe 2 to 3 years. For the oil industry, to convert fixed factors to the variable, it might be about 2 to 3 years or more. So here, it's not the specific time per se that you consider when you sort of demarcate the long run. It is the time that is necessary to convert fixed factors to the variable factor. So therefore, for the garment industry to convert fixed to the variable, it might be about 8 months to 12. So for the garment industry, the long run could be about 8 months to 12. But for the oil industry to convert fixed to the variable, it might take 2 or 3 or even more. So you have to explain here. First, you have to say now long run varies from industry to industry. Why? Because we consider the long run as the time necessary to convert fixed to the variable. So then you have to say for the garment industry to convert fixed to the variable, like having an extension to the factory buildings, planting, so having more plants and machineries might take 8 to 12. So therefore, the long run for the garment industry has to be like 8 months to 1 year. For the oil industry, converting fixed to the variable, like having oil refineries, if it is offshore, having oil rigs, all these things will take longer, sometimes 2, 3 years or more. Therefore, the oil industry, the long run is uh, maybe 2, 3, or even more number of years. So this is what you have to explain to get the 5 marks. And if my memory serves me right, those who have answered, uh, I do not think that none of the students have provided all these relevant information by what I have mentioned before. Some of them, of course, have come closer and got about 3, 4 marks, but not, if my memory serves me right, not the full 5 marks, right? So these,
Sir, excuse me.
yeah.
Sir, can you please record the session?
Now there is a problem with my internet system, and when I try, that is what happened the previous time. You see, that is what happened the previous time when I tried to sort of record it. The system got broke down, so that is why I have removed that. But what I would do is I will redo this again on either tape it or whatever, and try to upload it on the web, right? Okay. If I try to do that now, the system might get broken down, right? Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Right. Now, the second one, first I want you to do that, and I'll give you a few minutes for you to do that, and afterwards I will explain that, right? First you try it on your own, the filling the table and all that, right? Then I will explain, and you can see how far you are correct. Try that now.
මෙතන තියෙන රෙකෝඩ් කියලා එකක් නේද? Record on this computer. ఇప్పుడు రికార్డ్ చేస్తే మళ్ళీ
Do it as if you are doing in the exam, and then when I discuss it, you will know how far you are correct. I'll give you another 2 more minutes and let's see, right? Okay, Putra, we will try this, right? Now, once I explain that, tell me how many of you have done it correctly, right? Now here, in a table like this, the best thing is this, right? Now, you see now, average product on labor is equivalent to total product on labor divided by quantity on labor. So if this is the case, now first thing is, you have to fill this total product column, right? So if average product on labor is equal to total product divided by quantity on labor, you cross multiply it. Total product on labor is equal to average product on labor multiplied by quantity on labor, right? So what you have to do is you multiply average product, where you have the average product with the quantity of labor to get the total product. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. 8 multiplied by 5 is 40. 5 multiplied by 8 is 40. So that is done. Then of course right, always the marginal product is the difference here. Now, for example, note 1 from the note laborer to the first laborer 2. First laborer to the second laborer, addition is 6. So the difference. So here for the third laborer, addition is 30. Add that to this 8, 21. All right. And fourth to the sixth, addition is 2. Add that to 40, 42. Right? 6 to the 7th, addition is 0. That means it remains 42. Now the TPL column is filled. Right? Then the next thing is, you divide total product by the quantity of labor, right? Quantity of labor to get the average product. 2 over 1. 21 over 3, 7. 32 over 4, 8. 42 over 6, 7. 42 over 7, 6. Now that is also done. Now the difference in the total product is the marginal product. Note 1 is 2. 1 to 2, 2 to 8, 6. 3 to 4, 21 to 32, 11. 4 to 5, 32 to 48. And 7 to 8, 42 to 40 minus 2. Now that is also done. Right? Now, that is enough for you to demarcate the 3 stages of production. How do you draw it? First, use the marginal product column. Marginal product column. Where the marginal product is the maximum, that is 13. This is the stage 1, stage of increasing returns. Stage of increasing returns. So you have to find where the MP is the highest, draw a line over there, and that is the first stage. Then you find where the MP is 0, that is 7. That is the stage 2, stage of diminishing returns. Stage of diminishing returns, right? Right? And from 8 onwards, that is negative. That is the stage 3, stage of negative returns. Right? So you find 3 distinct stages, right? You find 3 distinct stages, right? When you add increasing quantities of the variable factor to the fixed factor. Increasing quantities of the variable factor to the fixed factor. Now, why the first stage, the output is going up at an increasing rate. Now, see the stage of increasing returns. Every additional labor brings more and more to the output. Now see, the first laborer brings 2, second laborer brings 6, third laborer brings 13. So the marginal product for each laborer goes up. Why is that? The reason is, now I think I have explained that example once before as well. Now let's say, right, in a garage, you have tools sufficient for 7 mechanics, right? Tools are there for 7 mechanics to work comfortably. Now, what if the garage owner employs 1 mechanic? The tools for 6 mechanics underutilized, not used. So that is why every additional mechanic will bring more and more to the output. So the first stage, why the output is going up at an increasing rate is because the capital is underutilized. Remember, capital is underutilized, right? Now the second stage, still the output is going up. See, 32, 40, 42, 4, but each laborer brings less and less marginal product, 11, 8, 2, 0. That is because now as you add more and more mechanics, the number of tools available per mechanic comes down. Still the output goes up, but it is at a declining rate, stage of diminishing returns. Now, when you are the 8th laborer, where the tools are sufficient for 7 mechanics, 8th laborer will not have tools, so he will not have work and he will obstruct the others also. Whenever the total product comes down, his contribution is negative, right? So that is why there are 3 distinct stages in the short run, right? So that knowledge is necessary for you to answer the second part, which is what stage should the rational entrepreneur select? Why? There are answer should be the rational entrepreneur should select the second stage because the first stage, the capital is underutilized, and the third stage, the firm is getting negative returns, right? The second stage, the total product is going up, and both the average and the marginal products are positive. Now, graphically, you need this graph to explain this, right? Now, see, up to the third unit, now see, this curve is the total product curve. This curve is the total product curve, right? So here the slope is the marginal product. So up to the third unit, the slope is increasing, implies that the marginal product is increasing. Third to the 7th unit, still the total product is going up, but the slope is diminishing. That means the marginal product is declining. At the topmost point of the total product, the marginal product is 0. That is where the second stage ends. So the marginal product is the highest where the first stage ends. The marginal product is 0 where the second stage ends. And if you draw the average product, always when marginal product is higher than average product is rising. At the topmost point of the average product, marginal product is equivalent to average product. Where marginal product is less than average product is declining. So the first stage, the rational entrepreneur cannot select. So therefore, because the capital is underutilized, third stage he cannot select because the total product is declining, the marginal product is negative. Rational entrepreneurs should select the second stage, and because the total product is going up, both average and the marginal products are positive. In fact, the optimum point would be the point where MPL is equivalent to APL. So for you to get full marks for all that, you must correctly fill the table, correctly identify the boundaries of the 3 stages, correctly explain that using the graph, and for the part 2, you have to say the rational entrepreneur should select the second stage. Why? Because the first stage, the capital is underutilized. Third stage, the output is declining, the marginal product is negative. Second stage, the total product is going up, and both average and marginal products are positive. Ideal, the optimum point would be in the short run where MPL is equal to APL. So if you explain these, you get the full marks. none of the students go to that extent of explaining, right? So that is the exact explanation to get the full marks, right? Now, if you look at the last question, how many workers should a profit maximizing firm employee explain? Now that I will give you another 3 minutes for you to complete this table and do it, right? Okay, so then I will ask you I will ask how many of you have done it correctly, right? So try that. Right, we will try this now, okay? Here we have to fill the MR column. Now MR is what? MR is, right? I will write it here. MR is change in total revenue divided by change in quantity. When you increase the sales by 1 unit, addition to the total revenue. Now it says in the details, it says, right? In the details it says each unit is sold at unit price of the product is 400. That means every time when a person every time a person sells a unit, he earns 400 rupees. So the marginal revenue column is all along it is 400 because each unit is sold at the same price. Okay. Now I come to the theory again. Now here the variable factor is labor, right? If it is labor, the basis on which a firm hire labor is MRPL is equivalent to wages. Wages is we call unit cost of labor. MRPL is marginal revenue multiplied by marginal product or labor. So this must be equivalent to the unit cost of labor. The unit cost of labor is given as 3,200. Now suppose here it is the capital, then marginal revenue product or capital should be equivalent to the interest. Interest is the unit cost of capital, right? So MR multiplied by marginal product of capital should be equivalent to the rate of interest. Now here, to answer this question, you have to multiply MPL and MR to get the MRPL. 400 into 2, 800. 400 into 6, 2,400. 13, 5,200. Right? 4,400. 3,200. 4,400 into 2, 800. 400 into 0, 0. 400 into minus 2, minus 800. So here, according to this condition, MRPL is equal to wages 3,200 at the fifth unit of labor. Even other conditions is fulfilled, MRPL and the APL also is similar. So the rational entrepreneur should select 5 units of labor. Always MRPL column is the firm's demand curve for labor, remember, right? So that is the answer for that one. If you do this, you get all 13 marks. Now, how many of you have done all these stages correctly? How many of you have done all these stages correctly? Now, if you have participated in this revision in a proper manner, you should be able to do this if you get the question at the next examination, right? Now, remember, the managerial economics passing rate is not very high. It's not easy. You must know mathematics, you must know theory, you must know calculations, right? You must know calculus, otherwise you can't pass it. A lot of students come after the exam saying that they have done well, but fail. And we, as you know, when we mark, we know how hard we try to ensure that you get at least minimum 40 marks to get through, right? So, that is of course mistaken belief that you have done well and still you have come down, right? Because we do everything possible to ensure that you get 40 marks, and failing means absolute failure, right? No two words about it, right? The reason is if you don't put genuine effort into this to understand theory, uh, and then the mathematics applications, you can't pass this, right? Just cropping in the dark, you can't pass this, right? Okay, right. Now, I come to the part C of that, right? Right. And here, how could the knowledge in relation to the concepts break-even analysis and degree of operating leverage helps in managing business decision making? Now, break-even analysis is also another important concept useful in managerial decision making. Now, you can show this with a graph. Now, here the quantity, here total revenue and total cost. Here the total fixed cost. Here the total revenue. Here the total cost, right? Where firm makes neither profit nor loss, where the TR is equivalent to TZ is the break-even point, right? Here, TC larger than TR, therefore loss. Here, TR larger than TZ, therefore profit. So, the firm, once it reaches the break-even, it will start making profit, right? So the profit break-even point output is total fixed cost divided by P minus AVC. We call P minus AVC profit contribution, right? Now sometimes you get questions to prove this. TFC is equal to P minus AVC is the break-even analysis output, right? Now this is how you prove it. Now for example, let's say, now here the total break-even point is total cost is equal to total revenue. And you know total revenue means price multiplied by quantity is the total revenue. Right? Price multiplied by quantity is the total revenue. Total cost is total fixed cost plus the total variable cost. Now, if you want to get the average variable cost, that is total variable cost divided by the output. So, if you cross multiply this, total variable cost is equivalent to average variable cost multiplied by the output. So you, instead of TVC here, you replace that with this part. TVC is equivalent to AVC multiplied by Q. That means you can read the TC as TFC plus AVC into Q, right? Okay. Now you come back to this equation again. Instead of TC, you write TFC plus AVC into Q. TR you write P into Q. Okay? Right? Now you TFC is equal to, you take this on to the other side, P into Q minus AVC into Q. So the Q is the common factor. When you take Q out, P minus AVC is TFC. That means Q is equivalent to TFC over P minus AVC. That is how you prove that break-even output is equivalent to total fixed cost over the profit contribution. Right? Okay? And now here, as for the break-even analysis, what happens is, right, if the total fixed cost is high, naturally the variable cost is less. If the total fixed cost is high, naturally the variable cost is less. But when the total fixed cost is higher, To achieve the break-even output, you need to produce a larger output than when the total fixed cost is lower. So get it right. When the total fixed cost is high, the variable cost tends to be lower. But when the total fixed cost is higher, to achieve the break-even output, you need to produce a larger output than when the total fixed cost is lower. Once you reach the break-even output, a firm where the total fixed cost is higher, the rate at which the profit increases, it increases at a faster rate than the firm where the total fixed cost is lower. That is the managerial implications of the fixed cost, right? Break-even analysis. This I have never seen in any of the answers. When total fixed cost is higher, the variable cost tends to be lower. And when the total fixed cost is higher, to achieve break-even output, the firm will have to produce a larger output than when the total fixed cost is lower, right? Okay? And once the break-even output is reached, the firm for which the total fixed cost is higher, that firm, the profit increases at a faster rate than the firm where the fixed cost is low, right? That is how you explain the managerial implications of this concept. Then, DOL, or the degree of operating leverage, shows how sensitive the firm's profit to change in sales. That means percentage change in profit divided by percentage change in unit sales. How sensitive the firm sales to the profit, right? You call it profit elasticity as well. Now, if the firm, let's say degree of L is 2.4, one firm, and the other one is 1.98. The first firm, the sensitivity is higher. Little 1% change in the sales will change the profit by 2.4%. One where the 1.98 is the degree of operating leverage, 1% change in the sales will change the profit by 1.98, right? And here, the equation is, sometimes you get these questions as well to work out the degree of operating leverage. Here, Q into P minus AVC divided by Q into P minus AVC minus TFC. This is the equation to work out the degree of operating leverage. Q into P minus AVC divided by Q into P minus AVC minus total fixed cost. What it shows is how sensitive the firm's change in sales to the profit of the firm. The higher the DOL, higher the degree of operating leverage, the higher will be the sensitivity of the firm's profit to the changes in sales. So these will have to be explained, right? Will have to be explained to get the full mark 7, but none of the students have, I think, explained the DOL, and even this, of course, not specific details given, right? Now, I want you to do this to see how far you have understood this explanation, right? Sometimes you get questions like this, right? Now, this is the question, right? Total revenue is given as, right? Total revenue is given as 50K, right? Total cost is given as 10,000 plus 30K, right? 10,000 plus 30K, right? And you have to identify the break-even output. Break-even output, and also you have to identify the output output necessary to make a profit of $20,000. First, from these you have to find the break-even output, and then you have to find the output that is necessary to make a profit of $20,000. You do that, and those who have finished, you tell me the answer. Anyone finishing can give me the answers, right? Right, we will see. I mean, no one has given me the answer. Let's see how far you have done it. Now here, you don't have to use the equation TFC is P minus AVZ. You do not need to use that. Now, you know, break even means TC is equivalent to TR. TC is 10,000. 30Q and TR is 50Q. So 50Q, when you take this on to the other side, minus 30Q, that is 20Q is 10,000. Q is 500. Break even output is 500. Now, the second part, I just want to check your knowledge. Here, if you want to work out the output necessary to make a profit, that is TFC plus pi is the profit and P minus AVC, right? Then here TFC is 10,000, right? So, right? Q TFC is 10,000. Right? Profit is 20,000. P is, we will have to get P. Right, P of course you have to work out, right? Now here, if you use this equation, right? Q is break-even output is 500. Right, break-even output is 500. Total fixed cost is 10,000. Right. P minus AVC is 30. 30 is the variable cost. This is the fixed cost. Right, 30. Right. So when you cross multiply it, 500 P minus 30 is 10,000. 500 P, 1,500 is 10,000, right? 500 P is 11,500 because when you take this onto this side, right? When you take this onto this side, this becomes plus. P is equivalent to
Sir,
yeah.
sir, can't we get the P from TR function?
TR function also you can get because here P into Q, right? That is also correct. Here you don't have to go this far, right? P into Q, yes, right? P into Q and here P is 50, ABC is 30, right? So that means 30,000 over 20, right? So the output necessary to produce 20,000 profit is 1,500 units, right? Yes, this is correct because you know sometimes when you work out you become blind for some of these things. That is very correct. Rather than going through this, you can directly get it from this, right? So output is 1,500 and break-even output is 500. How many of you get that? How many of you got the answers both? Huh? How many of you got that? Okay, right, so that is how you work it out. Sometimes you may get questions of this nature, right? Okay, right, okay. Now for example, if for some reason this is not given, right? Sometimes you may have to use this kind of equation to get the unknown variables, right? Okay, right. Now we will come to the next question, right?
We can't see end of the paper.
Sorry?
We can't see the end of the paper.
Yeah. Okay, now can you see?
Yes.
Can you see? Okay. All right, so I will go to the other question now. Here too, I just want to show you, right? This is not, this has to be 15,000. So 15,000 plus 10,000 is 25,000, right? 25,000 divided by 500 is 50. This, of course, you don't have to go this far if you have been given this P into Q, right? As one student correctly pointed out, right? Suppose not given, then of course you may have to use this kind of an equation to get the price. Okay, right. Now I come to the next question, right? Question number 4. If the demand and supply equations of a perfectly competitive industry are given as, right, how could the firm operating the given industry determine their price and output explained using illustration? Now, here you have to get the industries, demand and supply, right? Okay, here, QD is 1,400, 480p, right? QSC is minus 10,800 plus 122, right? Now, of course, industry's demand is equal to industry supply, 14,440p, sorry, 80p is minus 10,800 plus 122, right? So you take beyond to this side, 200 because minus becomes plus, right? This of course minus when you take to this side, it becomes plus. So 14,400 plus 10,800 is 24,000, 25,200. I think. Yeah. So these 121, 200p, 10,800, double knot, yeah, P is 121, right? So now, of course, the equilibrium quantity, you can put one of these and see. 1400, 18 to 121. 1400 minus 5. That is 4,400 plus.
The 126, no?
Is it? 14,400, 10,800.
So it should be 126.
2052 divided by 200, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. One thing here, right now, here, when you work on these things with all these things, it's very difficult to really sort of work out because, it is tremendous, very uneasy, not like working on a board, right? So if any mistake in little calculations, let me know, right? So it is 126, right? So you multiply 126 by 80, not, is that 10,080?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir.
So you got to deduct 14,400 by 10,080. That is
4,300.
4,320.
right. 2,320. And so now you get this as 126 and this as 4,320. Now the firms can sell unlimited quantity for the given price, which is 126, right? Okay. This is the industry. This is the firm, right? So the firms face perfectly elastic demand where D is equivalent to P is equivalent to AR is equivalent to MR. Perfectly elastic demand curve for the given price, the price determined by the industry, the firms can sell unlimited quantity. So if you draw this graph and get these figures and show this, you get the full marks for this one, right? Okay. So now what is the short-term supply curve of a perfectly competitive firm? Explain using illustration. So you try. I give you 2 minutes to do that. You try and tell me the answer, or else see whether my explanation fits in with your answer. Right. So try that. Right now, let's see how many of you are answered this correctly. Right now, see, right? You, see, right? This is the average variable cost. This is the average variable cost, right? This is the MC curve, right? MC curve. Now here, the short-run supply curve of this is that part of the MC curve which is above ABC. So this is the short-run supply curve. Now here, remember, right? No firm would supply if the price is below the lowest average variable cost, right? No firm would supply if the firm's price is below the lowest point of the average cost, then the firm is in a position even it cannot recover its variable cost. Now here, if you want to show what quantity is supplied at any given price, this is the price 1, P1, quantity 1 is supplied. P2, quantity Q2 is supplied. So remember, you have to draw this graph and say that part of the MC curve which is above the average, right? And if you draw this, you get the full marks to that, right? Now the next one, right? Next one. Teaching online is absolutely a cumbersome exercise, right? Very uneasy, lot of disturbances that of course understood because home is not an office or a lecture hall, so your home is your home, my home is my home, but can't help it, right? Because of this COVID conditions, right? Right. Now, perfectly competitive firm that makes economic losses in the short run must cease its operation. Do you agree? Explain using illustrations. Now, first thing we will show what is a loss-making firm, right? So here, this is Q, this is P, this is D, P, A, R, M, right? Now, if you want to show a loss-making firm, you have to go the short-term total average total cost SAPZ curve above this. Then only you can show a loss-making firm, right? Now, you draw the MC curve going through the lowest point, right? And loss minimizing or profit maximizing point is where MC equivalent to M1. So you draw a line from here to here, Q. So say this is not, right? This is let's say A, this is let's say B. You draw a line, right? This will say P and this will say P1. Now this is economic loss. Now the question is whether a loss-making firm must stop its operations. We will have to say the condition that will make the firm decide to shut down the plant is P is equivalent to or less than AVC. So naturally, AVC curve will have to be lower than the ATC, like this, AVC, right? So when you draw a line from here to here, this is firm's variable cost. So the firm's revenue is this. This is the firm's variable cost. This is the firm's difference is the firm's fixed cost. So if the revenue is here, the firm is recovering its entire variable cost plus the fixed cost this month, right? The fixed cost this month, right? So in a situation like this, the firm can continue to produce because it is recovering its operational cost of the variable cost plus part of the fixed cost, part of the fixed cost. So what is the closing down point? Now I show you the closing down point, right? I will show you the closing down point, right? Right. This is the ATC. This is the MC. This is the economic loss, right? This is the economic loss, right? This is the ABC, and this is the closing down to the shutting down point. Now here, your revenue is just enough to recover your operational cost of the variable cost. The firm cannot operate if it moves beyond that. What it says is the firm is even unable to recover its operational or the variable cost. So you will have to draw both this graph and this graph, and also this condition has to be stated to get the full marks, right? This graph, and this. Okay? Right? Right. Now I will just give you yeah.
Sir, second graph, there is a AVC or AFC.
What ASC? ASC? What is ASC? What is ASC?
Average fixed cost.
You are not using average fixed cost here. You are using the average variable cost. Why do you want to use the average fixed cost? What is the shape of the average fixed cost? What is the shape of the average fixed cost? Average fixed cost is this. Cost Q. This is the average fixed cost. You are not using average fixed cost to explain this. Average variable cost and the average total cost. Right? If the firm cannot recover the operational cost of the average variable cost, the firm cannot continue to operate. Now, fixed cost is the sunk cost. Whether you do not produce a unit, the firm will have to incur fixed cost. Don't think fixed cost when you discuss about this closing down point, right? Fixed cost is a sunk cost. That is why when the firm shuts down, it will lose the entire fixed cost. It is the sunk cost. So here, as the firm can recover the variable cost and the part of the fixed cost, the firm can continue to produce. Right? The closing down point is where AVC just touches the revenue point. P is less than or equivalent to AVC is the closing down point. Don't bring fixed cost into that at all. Remember, right? Remember. Okay? Right. Now I want to check your knowledge in relation to mathematics, right? TVC curve is given as, get this right? TVC curve is given as 150Q, 20Q 2 to the power, 20Q 2 to the power, plus Q 3 to the power. AVC, TVC is given as 150Q minus 20Q 2 to the power plus Q3. Now you will have to find out, right, below what price? Below what price? Below what price should the firm shut down? the firm shutdown. Now try to do that. TVC given as 150Q minus 20Q to the power plus Q3. Below what price should the firm? Now here also the student who mentioned about the fixed cost can understand the question given is only taking variable cost into account because the shutting down decision is based on the variable cost, right? Okay, now try this. If you have understood these theories, you should be able to work this out. Okay, try that. I think one time I gave a question like that in the final paper, right? First, I will help you out. Now here, if you draw, now see what happens is this, right? This is the AVC curve, right? This is the AVC curve. MC curve goes to the lowest point. Now this is the price below which you cannot operate. So you have to find this price from this, right? This is the theory. You have to find out AVZ and MC to solve this, right? AVZ and MC to solve this. Right, look at the way I solved this and tell me how many of you have done this, right? Now, as I have told you at the beginning, you can't properly answer managerial economics paper unless you do not know the calculus, the derivations, right? Right here, first you have to know AVZ is equal to TVZ divided by Q. So you divided by Q. Divided by Q means you bring Q minus power onto the top, right? 150, 20Q, Q 2 to the power. Q minus 1 to the power is taken on top, right? So this is AVC, right? MC is, right? You can write it as changing TVZ over changing Q. So to get that, I write this again. That is not the answer, right? 150Q, 20Q2 to the power plus Q3. Now get the first derivation of this one. This is not the answer. This is not the answer for this, right? MC. Q1 to the power. You multiply 1 by 150, 150 minus 1. Q naught to the power is 1, you don't have to write it. 2, 20, you multiply 2 by 20, 40. 2 minus 1 is Q1 to the power. You multiply 3 and here it is 1, right? You don't have anything, is 1. 3 into 1 is 3, Q. 3 minus 1 is Q2 to the power. This is the MC. This is the MC, this is the AVC. Right? We will find out where MC is equal to AVC here. Right? Okay? AVC, here, I think a children making noises at the background, bit disturbing. 50, 20 Q2 to the power is equivalent to 150 40Q plus 3Q to the power. Right? This goes over. I take 40Q onto this side. 40Q minus 20Q. I take this onto this side. 3Q2 minus Q2. 40Q minus 20Q is 20Q. 3Q2 minus Q2 is Q2. I hear a child making noises, and that is disturbing. I know it's your home, it's your, the freedom, but these conditions, everyone will have to sacrifice. I am also working under tremendous pressure because you can't make the home members to keep their mouth shut, so it's very difficult, right? Very distracting, to be honest. Can't help it. You have to go through, I have to go through, right? 20Q and 2Q to the power, I can write Q into Q, right? Okay, so this goes off. Q is 15, sorry, 10. 10. So this output is 10, right? So all you got to do is from this you work out AVC, from this you work out MC. So MC is equivalent to AVC, and you find the output where MC is equivalent to AVC. Now you know that MC curve is the supply curve. Now you put this Q10 into the MC curve. See, very simple. MC curve is 150 40Q plus 3Q 2 to the power. Put Q into this. 150 40 into 10 3 10 2 to the power. So 40 into 10 is 400 minus 400. 10 2 to the power is 100. 100 into 3 is 300. 300 plus 150, 450. 450 minus 40, 400 is 50. So if the price is below 50, the firm will have to be shut down. That is it. I think one year I have given this question. So I just explained this again, right? First, now this is the theory that you have to understand, right? If the price is, this is the quantity. First, you have to find out the quantity where MC is equivalent to ABC. And at this quantity, if the price is below this, firm will have to shut down. So first from the TVC, you get the ABC, right? And from the first derivation of TVC, you get the MC. You equate that and get the output where MC is equivalent to ABC. So since the MC curve is the supply curve, insert the output into the MC curve, you get the price, and price below this, the firm will have to be shut down. Okay, so that is because here P is equivalent to MC, right? So if the price is below 50, it will have to be shut down. So that is how you answer that. Okay, okay, right. Now, all what I discuss here may be useful in your exam, right? Okay, now, part C. Being the only firm in the industry, could a monopolist determine both its pricing and output at the same time? Explain using illustration. Of course, you know now monopoly means the industry's demand and the firm's demand is the same because the firm has only, industry has only one firm, right? So if I draw The demand curve faced by the monopoly, right? That is downward sloping like this. Okay? And the MR curve goes to the midpoint. These 2 points are equal, right? Now, first thing what you have to explain is, right, the monopoly is facing a downward sloping demand. And what it implies is, if the monopoly intends to increase the sales, right, price will have to be brought down. Price bringing down from P2 to P1, output will go up from Q1 to Q2. So what it implies is the monopolist cannot determine both the price and the output at the same time because the monopoly is facing a downward sloping demand curve. So it has to be either the price or the quantity, not both at the same time, because the consumer behavior is beyond the control of the monopolist. So with this graph, if you state all these what I have mentioned now, you get the full marks, right? Next one, compared to perfect competition, there is a social cost on the monopoly. Do you agree? Explain using illustration. Now, see this, right? Here, we will have to think of a situation, right? Initially, a perfectly competitive industry where you have had large number of firms, all these firms merge and become one, right? Perfectly competitive industry becoming a monopoly. So whether it is a monopoly or perfect competition, industry's demand is AR is equal to the average revenue. Now we will make the comparison, right? Here, see, now this is the industry's demand, right? Now I have taught you, right? Uh, uh, Monopolistic competition, the supply curve is the MC curve. Supply curve of the perfect competition. Supply curve of the perfect competition. Okay, MC curve is the supply curve of the perfect competition. Now, under perfect competition, we will get where the industry's demand is equivalent to industry supply. This is one. Q, I will say perfectly competitive, QC, PC. This is the output the society is getting. This is the price the society is paying. Now we will have M mark, right? This is the M mark. So the monopolistic firm will produce where MC equivalent to M mark, right? This is the profit maximizing output QM. This is the price P. Now you can see on the monopoly, the society is getting a lesser output and paying a higher price. Under perfect competition, the society is getting a larger output and paying a lower price. And this is what the society loses, this shaded area. This is what the society loses due to monopoly. We call this dead weight loss. Dead weight loss. So you have to do this graph and say this is the quantity the society is getting due to perfect competition, and this is the price of the perfect competition. This is the price on the monopoly, which is higher. This is the quantity on the monopoly, which is lower. So this is what the society is losing, this shaded area. We refer to that as the dead weight loss, and this is called like what the perfect competition. If you explain that, you will get the full marks, right? So that is how we answer that question, right? Okay. Now I come to the question number 5. Right? Explain whether you agree or disagree with the following statements. Provide illustration where possible. Monopolistically competitive firms achieve maximum efficiency in the long run. Now remember, there are two things. Now, economic efficiency is the summation of productive efficiency. Economic efficiency is the summation of productive efficiency and allocative efficiency. Right? Productive efficiency is achieved when a firm is producing at the lowest average cost. Productive efficiency is achieved when the firm is producing at the lowest average cost. Allocative efficiency is achieved when the marginal cost is equivalent to the price. Okay? Productive efficiency is when the output is at the lowest average cost. Allocative efficiency is when the marginal cost is equivalent to P. Now here, you have to deal with the efficiency of monopolistically competitive firms. But for you to give the full picture, I will bring perfectly competitive industry as well. Sometimes you get questions to compare the efficiency level of perfect competition and the monopolistically competitive firms. Now, what is important is this, right? Now, perfect competition long run equilibrium is, right? Okay, this is the long run average cost. This is the long run marginal cost. This is the short run average cost. This is the short run marginal cost. This is D is equal to P is equal to AR is equal to M. Now here, this is a unique situation, only a theoretical possibility, right, where everything is in equilibrium and the perfectly competitive firm is making zero economic profit in the long run, and it achieves both productive and allocative efficiency. Zero economic profit, maximum efficiency, both productive and allocative efficiency. This is of course a module, theoretical module used as a benchmark to measure the efficiency level of other markets. So this is what the perfect competition. For this question, you don't need it. Sometimes you get questions where you have to compare the efficiency of perfect competition and the efficiency of monopolistically competitive firms. Now see what happens under the monopolistic competition, right? This is the long run average cost. You have to go the average revenue of the demand curve tangent to this. Okay. The demand curve goes to the midpoint. Right? LMC curve goes to this. So the profit maximization is LMC is equivalent to MR. Right? Here. QV. Right? Now, monopolistically competitive industry also is making zero economic profit in the long run. Zero economic profit in the long run. Now, the efficiency. efficiency is where MC is equal to P and the output is at the lowest cost. That means it has to be here. It has to be here. Here. It has to be here. It has to be here. Average cost lowest. P is equal to MC and this is the output. What happens? Firm is not producing this output and not selling at this price. This shaded area is called underutilized capacity. Underutilized capacity. Right? Waste. So you have to draw this graph to answer this and say monopolistically competitive firms fail to achieve maximum efficiency in the long run because it is not producing at the lowest cost and also the price is not equivalent to MC. So this is what the answer. With this graph you will have to explain that. Okay. Now I come to the second part of the question. Higgs demand curve model is useful in explaining price quantity stability that prevails in the oligopolistic market. Now here, Higgs demand curve is this, right? Higgs demand curve is this, right? This is D1, this is 2D2, 2 time. This is, above this price, above P, this part is elastic. Below P, this part is inelastic. Why you have partly elastic, partly inelastic demand? Because if a firm, let's say oligopoly industry, an example is cellular industry. Now let's say one firm dialogue increases the price above P, others will not increase the price. So the dialogue increasing the price above P will lose heavy market share because other competitors have not increased the price. Price increase is not followed, it is ignored. Now suppose the price is reduced below P, rivals will quickly reduce the price below P. So other than the initial advantage of reducing price, the dialogue is not going to gain much out of that. So I hear a lot of sounds at the background. You mute your mic, please. Right? It's very difficult. It's very difficult. However much I tell you, it's not coming down. It continues to happen, right? Others hear that sound as well. The other students. Do you get these disturbances?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know. It's very difficult. You see, this exercise is absolutely difficult exercise. It's teaching online, right? We can, the family members are free to move, and I don't know. This COVID is killing both of us, you and us. Anyway, right now, so here, right? This is the price. This is the quantity. Now you draw the MR curve like this, right? You draw the MR curve like this. MR1, MR2, right? This. Now, what happens is, right? The elastic area, I draw it here, right? Elastic area, you have learned on the elasticity. If you increase the price by 1%, quantity demanded will come down by more than 1%. Therefore, the total revenue comes down. You know, when the demand is elastic, you will have to reduce the price to increase the revenue. Here, when you increase the price by 1%, the revenue will come down. So, if you increase the price above P, the firm's revenue will come down. So, best thing is to keep the price at P. Now, when you reduce the price below P, the demand is inelastic. You will learn on the inelastic demand. If you reduce the price by 1%, demand will increase by less than 1%. On the inelastic demand, if you reduce the price, the total revenue comes down. So, if you increase the price, the total revenue comes down. If you reduce the price, the total revenue comes down. So, the best thing is to keep the price at P and the output at Q. Even if the cost changes within here, MC, right? MZ1, MZ0, still the firm can maintain this price and this output. So to show that how the King demand curve explains the price quantity stability that prevails in oligopolistic markets, you have to use this graph, explain about the elastic part, explain about the inelastic part, say that elastic part, if you increase the price, the total revenue comes down. Inelastic part, if you reduce the price, the total revenue comes down. Therefore, ideal would be to maintain this price and this output. Even if the cost changes within this range, the output and the price can be maintained at PE and Q. Then you get the full marks, right? The next question. Oligopoly markets in which the firms that cooperate determine their price and output similar to a monopoly. Now we call this a cartel, collusion. Now the best example is OPEC, right? OPEC, Organization for Petroleum Exporting Countries. Now here, so what happens is this, right? They collude, all right, and act like a monopoly and determine the price and the output like a monopoly. Now, this is the industry's demand curve, right? This is the industry's marginal cost curve. Now, here, so marginal revenue curve, and this is the industry's marginal cost curve. Marginal cost curve is the summation of the members of the all the members of the cartel. For example, if it is OPEC, marginal cost of, let's say, marginal cost of Venezuela, right? Marginal cost of Saudi Arabia, right? Like that, all the members, the summation of the marginal cost, right? Okay, so the output is determined where the industry's marginal cost is equivalent to the marginal revenue. So this is the output of the cartel. This is the price of the cartel. So now all of them together producing this, and this is the price. You limit the output and charge a higher price, right? Okay. We call that collusion, and the extreme form of collusion is the cartel. And best example is OPEC. Now, if you ask me why then the firms that provide cellular industry cannot behave like this and increase their profit, that is not legally allowed. Because then, of course, they will act like a monopoly. Monopolistic tendencies are discouraged by the government, so legally not allowed. They are not allowed to make unreasonable profit, right? But on the hand, that can happen. Now, one time I can remember in Sri Lanka, the vegetable prices were extremely high. Then I saw in the newspaper, the reason for the higher price of vegetables given as some groups around the double economic zone have formed vegetable cartels. They limit the supply of vegetables and increase the price. That can happen covertly, right? Okay, so here, so all these petroleum producing countries, the marginal cost, where there is the industry's marginal cost, where the industry's marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, output is determined, and this is the price. Now, the next step is to share this output among the members of the cartel. Share this output among the members of the cartel. How can that be done, right? How can that be done, right? How can that be done? Now here, you will have to divide this output among the members of the cartel. That means the cartel governing body will have to divide these outputs among the members of the cartel. I'm just giving you the exact picture, the total picture, right? Total picture, but you don't have to explain all that to answer the given question. Sometimes, if it is to explain the cartel, you need all this, right? So here, the cartel governing body can sort of allocate these quotas among the members using several criteria. One is by looking at the production level of each member of the cartel, before forming the cartel. By looking at the production level of each member before forming the cartel. That is one. Second method is by sort of looking at the production capacity of each member. Third method is by looking at the marginal cost. Since the intention of the cartel is to minimize the cost, the firm of the country with higher marginal cost will get a lesser output, and the firm of the country with higher marginal cost will get a lower output, and the quota adjustment will take place until the marginal cost of country A, marginal cost of country B, and the marginal cost of country N is equal to M1, that is equivalent to, let's say, P1. So that is how the cartel output is divided among the members. And once the quotas are allocated, the cartel governing body will have to ensure that each member will not produce the output above the quota allocated. Then what will happen is, if they produce more, larger quantity will come to the market and the price will come down. The purpose of forming the cartel will not be achieved, right? So, of course, when having a cartel, there is always a tendency for cheating. Now, to answer this, yes, the cartel behaves similar to the monopoly, and you got to go this and explain how the monopoly is also determining the output and the price where MC is equal to MR. The monopolist, the aim is to limit the output and charge a higher price, and the cartel also is aiming at that, limit the output and charging a higher price. All what the details I have given in relation to the cartel is not necessary to answer this question, but since I have to cover the entire theoretical area, I have explained the entire thing. Now, part B of the question. Using examples, explain how monopolistically competitive and oligopolistic firms use non-price methods to compete. Now, here, what are these non-price competitive methods? Non-price competitive methods are, right, one is product differentiation. When you say product differentiation, that is in relation to the material use, color, the quality, after-sales service, packaging, right, design. All these are, the areas where the product differentiation can take place, right? Now, if when you take vanilla industry, that is of course under oligopoly, various organizations have different packages with different charging, right? Okay, different packages, different product offerings, right? Now, when you take the shoe industry and the monopolistically competitive industry, there are of course different designs, different materials, different color, different packaging, different after sales, even education institutions, even restaurants. So, the monopolistically competitive industry, the firms in monopolistically competitive industries as well as oligopolistic industries use non-price competitive methods to a larger extent, right? To a very large extent, because pricing methods sometimes may not work. Now, if, for example, if you take oligopolistic firms, there is what we call price war. When you try to undercut your competitors, the price undercutting will go on, until the price drops below the marginal cost. So sometimes the firms try to attract consumers, customers by providing different products and even advertising. Advertising also now different, there are different arguments. Sometimes they say advertising only will help to cancel out the impact of advertising by competitors. Some say advertising will help to expand the market. Some say it will not. So there are different arguments, but anyway, advertising also is extensively used to attract customers. So now here you can easily get 7 marks for this question, but you have to nicely explain the methods of product differentiation, how the advertising used by. Sometimes you can take 1 or 2 examples under each industry, monopolistically competitive as well as oligopolistic, and with some real world examples, you can explain how these methods being used by these firms to compete. Now, especially now when we have these COVID conditions, since people have difficult financial conditions, sometimes the firms rely on these non-price competitive methods to attract customers. So that kind of explanation can be given, right? So it's very important. You have to sort of link theory with practical examples to get full marks for a question like that. And this is one question where you can easily get full marks if you just bring some practical examples and the theory, right? And of course, I think the time is 12:30, but before I wind up, I will just add another 1 or 2 theoretical areas for your knowledge. Now, let's say you get a question where, right? You get a question where you will have to explain the profit maximizing output and the revenue maximizing output of a monopolist. Right? Let's say you have to discuss, or you get a question in relation to profit maximizing output and the revenue maximizing output of a monopolist. Can one of the students tell me the difference between profit maximizing output and the revenue maximizing output? Can one of you tell me? Can one of you tell me the difference between profit maximizing output and the revenue maximizing output? Anybody?
So if we increase the number of unit sales, it'll increase the revenue. So that will lead to an increase in maximizing revenue. So the profit derives from the difference between the revenue and the cost. So if you can produce at a lower cost, and even if you maintain the same amount of revenue, same amount of sales or revenue, so you can increase the profit.
I thank you for your answer, Puta. What is the theoretical condition of profit maximization and revenue maximization? That is what is important. Under what theoretical condition a firm maximizes the profit, and under what theoretical condition a firm maximizes revenue? Anybody? That you need to answer. Anybody? You must know this because this is done even at the level 3. You might get questions like that. What is the profit maximizing theoretical condition and the revenue maximizing theoretical condition? Now, one thing, of course, I have discussed here when I explained the previous answers.
The profit maximizing condition is MR equals MC.
Right, okay.
And
MR is equivalent to MC, right?
And the revenue maximizing point is MR is equal to 0.
Right. So why didn't you answer at the beginning? Huh? You referred the notebooks. Huh? Huh? So this is what? You know, this must be on your fingertips. Right? Profit maximization is MR is equal to MC. Now, when I explain these questions, I have explained this profit maximizing condition. Revenue maximization is MR is equal to 0. Now, you have to draw the graph and show. Right? This is ARD. Right? MR curve goes to the midpoint. Right? Okay? MC curve like this. Right? Okay, now if you have the short on average cost like this, right? MC equivalent to MR. This is the profit maximizing output key. This has to go through this, right? This is the profit maximizing price. This is the economic profit, right? So that is profit maximization, MC equal to MR. Now you have to show the revenue maximizing output and the price. Remember, that is where MR is equal to 0. This is right. I will say PR, revenue maximization, sorry, QR, PR. I will say a PM, QM, QM, PM. Right? So this is the revenue maximizing output. So you got to show both. Now here, what is visible is, if the firm wants to maximize revenue, price has to be lower and it will sell higher output. So maximizing profit, the price has to be higher, the output is lesser. So this is the difference in behavior. So when the firm is trying to maximize profit and the firm is trying to maximize the revenue. So if you want to, sometimes you get this question as a statement to say whether true or false. Sometimes you may get as a question where you will have to explain the difference in behavior when the firm is trying to maximize profit and when the firm is trying to maximize revenue. So these two areas will have to be shown very clearly, right? Aiming at higher profit, the firm will charge a higher price and sell lower quantity. Aiming at a higher revenue, the firm will charge a lower price and sell a higher quantity. So that is the difference. So another question sometimes what you get is, a profit maximizing firm always determines its output and the price in the elastic area. Now you know, right, where the MR is 0 here, this point, upper part, the demand is elastic. We call it at higher prices, the consumer response is higher, therefore the demand is elastic. The bottom part, the demand is inelastic. At lower prices, the demand is inelastic. So that is correct. Now, a firm aiming at maximizing profit will always determine its price and output in the elastic area. Sometimes you will have to explain that as a question. Sometimes you will have to explain that saying whether it is right or wrong. Now, if a statement given, the revenue maximizing firm will determine its price and output in the inelastic region, then ours is wrong. It will have to be in the elastic region. If it is elastic region, ours is correct. With this graph, you will have to explain. Now, remember, one thing, you must know theories well. Number two, you must know these illustrations well. All these axes must be remembered correctly. And also, you need to know mathematics, calculus, and all that, right? Okay. and we will have another revision call. I think that is in January. I will cover some more questions and all what I discussed. All what I discussed at the end of the day at the examination will be very important, right? So we will wind up. I have taken more than 2 hours now. It's 12:40, and thank you very much. And we will meet in the new year and wish you happy Christmas and happy New Year. Right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excu-
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Some
Yeah.
of the papers are not uploaded.
Some of the papers are not uploaded. I will pass the message to the coordinator, right? Okay?
Okay.
Okay.